And welcome back to another Paul's Aquariums video. I am Paul. This is Paul's Aquariums. I am an aquarium shop in Brisbane for the last 24 years, maybe longer. But check out that. It's like a claw. I'm going to show you how to make these types of rock sculptures super easy. And we're just going to use simple household items. Check that out. It's like a Stargate, isn't it? A few people have said it's a Stargate. I have no idea. Well, I do know what a Stargate is, but you know, that was back in the 90s. Was it the early 2000s? I'm not entirely sure. Super easy to make cool rock sculptures like this. You can use them for aquariums, you can use them for terrariums. You could just have them sitting, look at that, some sort of pachyderm, I do believe. You could have these sitting on your shelf. Who doesn't want that? Hello, how are you going today? Sitting on their shelf. I know I do. Let's get started and show you what bits and pieces you need to make these cool things. So the first things you will need is a bucket. Here is a wonderful bucket. It does say mop only on it. It is not my bucket. We're not going to use it for fish because it says mop only on it. We've got a few buckets like this. If you do have a bucket that's old, got a hole in it, a crack, something like that, don't chuck it away if you want to make cool rock things, because that is the main important thing. Another thing we're going to use is this Dymax compost seal. We've used this in a couple of videos before. It is awesome. It's like a little fluff stuff that bonds the rocks together. So you use this instead of tissue paper. If you don't have any of this or can't get it where you are, you can use tissue paper, and I've got a few videos on that as well. And the last thing we need is super glue. Oh, and rocks. We need rocks, but you know we need rocks because it's aquascaping. This is a liquid super glue, not to be confused with the gel super glues used for the plants and bits and pieces. And we have our bucket. This bucket had a few holes in it, so we've just cut all around the base of it. And that is going to be our base where we're going to put our rocks around and glue them in place. Simple as that. You can use a bowl, you could use pretty much anything you want, but that is going to give us our overall structure. And all we're going to do is place our rocks around the perimeter of the bucket. Well, it's technically on the inside perimeter. Is it the perimeter? It's the inside bit. And we're going to get a little bit of our compost seal and just put a small bit with a dab of glue between each rock. We're not going to put a heap of it in between each rock at this sort of stage. This is just to really hold it in place so we can work out how many rocks we need. And then as we lift it up, we're actually going to place more compost seal on the other side just to make it a little bit hardier, a little bit more stronger than what it would be if we only just had a little tiny bit. And there is our structure. Once it is dry, within a few seconds, we can gently lift it out. As you can see, it looks pretty niggly at the moment, but all we're going to do to sort of strengthen this up is we're going to glue another rock to the base, and then we're going to make sure that it's positioned the way we want it. Push a little bit more compost seal into all these little nooks and crannies. And then as we add the glue, it's going to smoke, it's going to fuse. It does heat up a fair bit, so technically you should be wearing gloves, unlike me who never wear. So all I'm doing at this stage is adding a few extra rocks just to sort of strengthen it up and make it look a little bit cooler, because if it's just one layer of rocks, so. So we're going to give it a little bit more structure and generally make it look a little bit more exciting. But that is our overall look. And check out how cool it looks in the tank. There is our Stargate, there's our little fish going back and forward. These are just female endlers, so that's why they look lovely and brown. How cool is that? So that's what it's going to look like under the water. Eventually it is going to blend into the rocks in the background once it gets a little bit of algae and stuff coating it. Super easy to make. I think both of these circular rocks only took about 10 minutes or so to join up together. And you can sort of add as many bits and pieces as you want to them. So this is the one that's got multiple little small bits of rocks, and this one is only just sort of joining up the main rocks together. We've got our sort of half round ones at the back, if you can see there, and another one there. Very easy, very fun to make. There is our cool little claw thing. I know, I keep calling it a claw thing. It kind of looks like a claw, doesn't it? But again, that will blend in perfectly. It just gives the aquarium a lot more to look at, more fun for the fish to swim around and stuff like that. What we're going to do now is we're going to make these things. That is a dinosaur dog thing. Yes, I have not decided what it is. Let's get started and show you how to make one of these. Looks kind of like a head, sort of looks like a head, doesn't it? And it is that easy to make these cool things. Look at that. Okay, I think they're cool. They may be a little bit tacky. That's a little bit tacky. Hello, tacky dam. Okay, they don't make that noise. But that is not a giraffe. Okay, I reckon it's dinosaur dog. Dino? I have no idea. If you vaguely reckon you know what this might possibly be, comment in the comments. Otherwise, it's a dinosaur dog, I guess. But you can pretty much make anything you want. The cool claw thing, which is looking more and more like an alien hand to me. Yes, I've seen so many alien hands. It will look awesome in a terrarium, maybe even a desert terrarium. How cool would that be? It will work perfect fully underwater as well as terrestrial. We could probably make like a full-size alien arm alien out of this. No, we're going to get a little bit out of hand if we do that. Super quick to make. If you blend all your little bits and pieces of sand in, you really don't notice that they are multiple rocks. Once they're in an aquarium and they've got all the moss and the algae growing over them, it is going to look super, super awesome. What I might do now is pop some of these in some aquariums and jump to that. And who is the best ever little elephant sitting on his rock? This is how much fun this is. If you haven't had an aquarium before, you really need to get an aquarium. If you haven't glued rocks and stuff before, definitely do that. It just sort of adds a little bit more fun to any aquarium. Obviously you can go natural or you can go completely non-natural, like that strange human thing there. Yes, Mr. Fluffman. But how cool is that? Didn't end up on my mantelpiece, but it did end up in this aquarium. If you did like this video, click the thumbs up so I know. If you want to see more cool videos, feel free to subscribe and we will see you in the next video. Thanks heaps for watching.
In the magical Tetra Aquarium, there lived a stone elephant named Mr. Winkles. Mr. Winkles had a loyal companion, Mr. Fluff, who was mysteriously stuck to a rock at the bottom of the aquarium. Despite their differences, they embarked on daily adventures, exploring hidden treasures and secret passageways. The tetra fish in the aquarium adored them, gathering around to listen to Mr. Fluff's enchanting stories. Their bond inspired visitors from all over the world. Mr. Winkles and Mr. Fluff taught everyone that true friendship knows no bounds, creating a world of wonder and beauty in the depths of the magical Tetra Aquarium.